Welcome back to RC Off-Road Racing. My name is Jason. Today we're going to be taking a look at these two Serpent 811 E-Truggies. Both of these electric truggies have been modified by me. The orange one, a little more heavily modified. This one is the more recent one I've gotten. This is an image of the new SRX-8 E-Truggy by Serpent. This image is my buddy Donnie B going over a jump at Red Brush. These two Serpents are the ones I own, and they are 811s. They are the older model, about 10 to 12 years old, but they're both unique, and I'm going to tell you why. All right, so I've made a list of all the modifications I've made to this truggy, so here we go. First, I flipped the rear lower control arms, so the shocks would be on to the rear instead of in front of the shock tower, which is pretty much how every other current truggy is set up now. The second thing, I've got an SRX-8 center diff with a 46 tooth spur and a 16 tooth pinion. Got hot body steering leaks because I broke one of the ends off one time of the original ones, and they're pretty small, so I wanted to upgrade them to something larger. I've got little spacers in there for the 2S shorties. I converted it to run shorties instead of the full size 2Ss. I moved the receiver box from where it's kind of over the motor. I put it kind of in front of one of the batteries to take up space so the battery would fit. I've got the LFR buggy body on it. All right, so I've also removed the rear wing mount and replaced it with a Serpent SRX-8 wing mount, the tall wing mount. I've also, a couple other upgrades. I've got aluminum front spindles on it. I got a Power Hobby 729 servo, a ShamWow receiver, 3-wire transponder. I use two 5500 2S high voltage lipos. And I've got foam fit on the sides of the chassis to fill out for the body. And that's about it. So we'll get a couple more closer pictures and take a little closer look. Now this one I've also upgraded to the aluminum shock tower because I broke the carbon fiber one in a race one day. So I bought the aluminum one and upgraded it, and I haven't had any issues with it. And the other thing I want to mention is I did upgrade the Ackerman to the SRX-8 Ackerman because I have some modifications in the steering. I'll have to go into that another time. It's a little complicated to discuss. But anyway, that's about it for this one. We're going to move on to the next buggy. All right, guys. This is also a Serpent 811 TTE, which is 811 Truggy Team Edition. Now, this one came with the, I think it's called conical or spiral cut, kind of slant cut gears instead of the straight cut gears that the other one came with. Now, I did upgrade the one in the rear. I failed to mention that earlier, so I'm letting y'all know now that one does have the upgraded gear in the rear. This one must have been a newer model. I got this on eBay. Looked like it sat around for a long time, but it was totally unused, never used. So I did decide to, build it into its own truggy. I was going to use it just to kind of, repair parts on my other. But I've driven this one. I've raced it 2 times, and it's done really well. This one has a 1900 kV motor, where the other one has a 2250 Tekin motor. The biggest difference on this one is that I have got the servo and ESC mount from the SRX-811 truggy. I did have to modify it. I used my drill press and was able to countersink some holes, and it turned out pretty good. It's definitely not perfect as far as how the bolt or the nut or the bolts kind of fit in, but it does it. It serves its purpose. It's in there good and tight. Actually, now I've kind of got 2 front braces, which on the buggies I have had the issue of breaking the front steering spindles a few times. All right, you can see the rear of the chassis here, and if you look closely, you can probably see which ones I had to the screws I had to modify. But all right, so other than that modification and the buggy, I use a lead finger buggy body that I'd had on my buggy, and it works just fine. This one I still have the rear wing mount is the same, and it's not, there's nothing really wrong with it, other than it makes it very difficult to get the rear differential out. It's a whole lot of screws you got to remove. So, all right, guys. Well, this weekend we are going to Red Brush RC. I think I'm going to take both these Truggies, and run one in each qualifier. Definitely practice with both of them, and see which one I think drives a little better. So I don't know, guys, but y'all be looking for that video. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it if you stayed all the way through and watch this whole thing. I'm going to start trying to make a little bit more, higher quality videos. But all right, guys, thanks for watching. See y'all next time. Later.
20 seconds.